Know your triggers. Your ex is going to try every trick in the book to bait you into reaction. They know your trigger points or hotspots and will continuously be poking them to get an emotional response out of you. This is what they feed upon. They need to know that they can still have an impact upon you, even if it's a negative one. So firstly, I want to talk about some ways in which you respond which keep you at the mercy of your ex. So the first one is social media posts about them. The fact that you are still thinking and talking about them, even if everything you say is negative, feeds their ego. Radio silence is your best protection. Because not only will they hate not having access to you, but they won't be able to use anything you say against you in court. Asking your mutual friends and family about them, this might get back to them directly and they'll know that they still have power over you. And this can distort that into sounding like harassment. You could end up with a non-molestation order. Asking the children for information about them. It's not fair on the children to put them in that situation first and foremost, but it also keeps you connected to them. Step away and let them get on with their own life. Parallel parent so you don't have to communicate with them as much. Responding with anything other than a direct response when it's regards to the children. No emotions or explanations needed, and we'll look at this more in the communication module. Responding at all when it isn't, or when it appears to be, but it isn't necessary. You don't have to explain or defend yourself. Each one of these is a triggered response, but one that keeps those wounds open. In each case, they've hit upon a nerve, and rather than heal the wound, you go outside of yourself to feel better, which invariably backfires. Learning to recognise your own triggers and manage them yourself is the ultimate step in taking back your power and cutting them off forever. Firstly, I want you to have a think about what does being triggered look like to you. Start to notice some of the reactions, and in the workbook I've provided you with a list of different ways that you react. So you might react with anger or irritability. You might react, your mood changes. It could be dissociation, anxiety. Once you've started to recognise yourself and how you are triggered each one of those ways, and then want you to begin to categorise exactly what happens. So the emotional state, the people that trigger that, places that trigger that, things, thoughts, activities and situations. So, for example, being happy might trigger you because you might feel guilty. Or you might feel really angry all of a sudden that you haven't felt happy for such a long time. Write it down, get a note of it, it's really important. So in the next lesson, we're going to start looking at how you can manage those triggers and your reactions to them. This will make you bait-proof against your ex and take away all of the power as well as rewriting the narrative.